I want to go on to talk about all of your other guests. And I want to start by saying, think about weddings that you have been to and what you have liked and what you have not liked so much. And I think what you will think of first is food, drink, and entertainment, whether that entertainment be, the speeches or the music or the evening's entertainment or whatever it was. Those are the things that will spring to mind. So you need to think, was I ever hungry? Was I ever thirsty? Was I ever bored or waiting around for something to happen? And those are the things that you want to try and avoid. Food is really important. You don't want anyone to be hungry because they won't enjoy themselves. And that goes for just making sure that there's enough food at the right times, and also for people that have like dietary requirements. You don't want people having like no choice. If you know that half of your guests are vegetarian or that a handful of them are gluten intolerant, you've got to take that into consideration and make sure that they still have the best thing to eat. We were really lucky. We found our caterers, Pie Central, who did gluten-free pies, they did vegan pies, they did everything. So we didn't have to find a different supplier for different people, or it wasn't like oh, you're a vegetarian, here's a plate of vegetables. They could have a pie the same as everyone else, and it was just as good as everyone else's meal. You've got to remember as well, if you have your ceremony earlier on in the day, you have to feed people for longer. So yeah, you get a nice long day, but also think of the cost that that's going to give you. We got married at 2:00 and we'd sort of said on our invites and stuff, oh, have a big breakfast or a little lunch or whatever before you come, because we won't be eating till 4 or 4:30 or whatever it was. And then we had a buffet at 8:00, and people were still snacking on that, by the time they were leaving at midnight. Now, my dad loves wine. Where was I going with this? Yeah, my dad loves wine, and so his concern was, is there going to be enough wine? What if some people want 4 glasses of wine with their dinner and then they want 3 bottles of Beck's after the ceremony, but then they also want some champagne and this, that and the other. And so it's really hard to estimate how much people will drink. But if you're supplying a lot of that alcohol, then just supply however much you are happy to supply. As long as people aren't getting bored, and that is the thing with a lot of British people, they're like, I can't have fun unless I'm drinking, and I strongly disagree with that. So I provided as much alcohol as I thought was necessary. I say I didn't really have much say in the alcohol, to be honest. I think sort of Tom got consulted a little bit, but it was mainly just my mum being like, people don't need to drink to have fun, and my dad being like, I must have 4 glasses of wine to enjoy myself. So I just let them argue it out between them, and they ordered however much wine it was that they thought, and it was fine. And we still had 30 bottles of Prosecco left over at the end. But then we opened our cash bar up at 5:00 anyway. So from that point onwards, everyone was in charge of buying and drinking their own alcohol and getting as drunk or as not drunk as they wanted. Now, with the entertainment, don't try and please everyone, because, especially if you've got 175 guests like we did, you're not going to be able to please everyone. But think about everyone. We thought about the children. We had about 25 children at our wedding, so we made them some goodie bags just with things like bubbles and sweets and stuff in, and there were some outdoor games. We had some space hoppers and you know, a sack toss thing. And then we had like the glitter artist, who was great for everyone. You know, everyone had glitter on their faces, from like the 3-year-olds to the 73-year-olds. Me and Tom are both quite childish. We love doing like silly things, and people expect that of us. They expected our wedding to be a bit crazy and a bit extra. And so I think people came with an open mind, up for doing anything that we got them to do. And you know, your friends and family that you're inviting to your wedding, they know you. If you want to do something a bit out there, or something you're like, oh, are they going to be on board with it? Of course they're going to be on board with it. They're there to celebrate you and your day. And if they don't, then why are they coming to your wedding? So if you have an idea, just roll with it. You know, don't be worried about, oh, will people think that's weird? Because, you know, if you are weird, then yes, people will think you're weird, but that doesn't mean that they won't enjoy themselves. So just think about your other guests, but don't let all of your decisions be completely dictated by what is the done thing. You know, because so many people go, oh, you can't do that at a wedding, or oh no, that wouldn't be quite right, or oh, people won't think that that's, you know, a good time to eat. Please them a bit, but not too much. I understand I'm kind of giving mixed messages here. Just, your day is about you, but it's only going to be enjoyable if the people around you enjoy it as well.